Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's April 6, 2025, and the world's two biggest economies, the US and China, are locked in a tariff showdown that's shaking up everything. Just this week, China slapped a 34% tariff on all US goods, hitting back at President Trump's massive 54% duties on Chinese imports. Markets are crashing, prices are spiking, and everyone's wondering, what's this mean for the global economy, and for you? In this 20-minute deep dive, we're breaking down the US-China tariff conflict step by step. We'll explore how it started, what it's doing to trade markets, who's getting hurt, and what might happen next. This isn't just about two countries bickering, it's reshaping the world. So, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and let's dive into the chaos. Let's rewind the clock. This tariff war kicked off in 2018. When then-President Trump started hitting China with duties, saying they were stealing American jobs in tech. By 2019, the US had tariffs on $350 billion of Chinese goods. And China fired back with $100 billion on US exports. Things cooled with a Phase 1 deal in 2020, but it didn't fix much. Trump later called it a failure. Fast forward to 2025, Trump's back in office and doubling down. On April 2nd, he signed an executive order slapping a 10% tariff on all imports globally, plus an extra 34% on China, totaling 54% with existing duties. His reasoning? Punish China for fentanyl smuggling and force manufacturing back to the US. China didn't blink. On April 4th, they announced a 34% tariff on all US goods, effective April 10th, plus export bans on rare earths. This isn't a slap fight anymore. It's a full-on economic slugfest. But what's it doing to the world? Let's break it down. First up, trade. The US and China are trade titans. Together they account for 40% of global GDP. When they start taxing each other's goods, it's like throwing sand in the gears of a machine. In 2018, US-China trade dropped over 15% because of tariffs. And we're seeing that again. US farmers are freaking out. China's 34% tariffs hits soybeans, pork, and oil, which cost them $27 billion last time. On the flip side, American shoppers are about to feel the pinch. That 54% US tariff on Chinese goods, like electronics and clothes, means higher prices. Economists say it could cost US households $2,000 to $3,000 extra a year. Your next iPhone? Maybe $2,300 instead of $1,800. Then there's the supply chain mess. Companies like Apple rely on China for manufacturing. 54% tariffs might force them to move production to places like Vietnam or India. That's already happening. Vietnam's exports to the US jumped 30% since 2018. But shifting takes time, and right now, it's chaos. Delays, shortages, and higher costs. Global trade isn't dying, it's just rerouting. And it's a bumpy ride. Now let's talk markets. When Trump announced his tariffs on April 2nd, the Dow Jones tanked 1,500 points in a day, its worst drop ever. By April 5th, US markets lost $16 trillion in value. China's retaliation made it worse. Shanghai's index fell 8%, and global stocks followed. Why? Investors hate uncertainty, and this tariff war is a giant question mark. Big companies are getting hammered. Apple and Tesla, dependent on China, saw shares drop 10% in a week. Oil prices crashed to $61 a barrel as demand fears spiked. JP Morgan's now saying there's a 60% chance of a global recession by December 2025, up from 40% pre-tariffs. Other countries aren't safe either. Europe's market slid 2 to 5%. Germany's hurting because it trades heavily with both the US and China. Canada's bracing for collateral damage from US exports getting pricier. The IMF warned this week that global GDP could shrink 0.5% by 2026 if this escalates. That's billions of dollars vanishing. Poof. So who's winning and losing? Losers first. US consumers and farmers. You're paying more, and soybean growers might lose China's market to Brazil, again. Chinese manufacturers are sweating too. Those 54% tariffs could tank their US sales. Globally, supply chain disruptions hit everyone. Think empty shelves and pricier cars. Winners? Countries like Vietnam, Taiwan, and Mexico are cashing in as production shifts their way. US manufacturers might see a long-term boost if Trump's plan works, but short-term, pain. The US government's raking in tariff cash, maybe $1 trillion, but economists say it'll fuel inflation, not growth. What's next? Trump's calling China's move weak and hinting at more tariffs. China's playing hardball with rare earths, key for tech, and could target more US firms. The EU's plotting retaliation, and Canada's threatening $125 billion in tariffs on US goods. April 9th, when these tariffs hit, is D-Day. Will they negotiate, or is this a new trade war normal? Buckle up, we're not done yet. There you have it. The US-China tariff conflict is a global game changer. Trade's shifting, markets are crashing, and your wallet's feeling it. Will this spark a recession, or can they pull off a deal? We'll keep you posted as this unfolds. What do you think? Smart move by Trump and Xi, or a disaster for us all? Drop your thoughts below. If this breakdown helped you get it, smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell. We're tracking this tariff war every step of the way. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.